Hello, everyone. I know that you guys have been waiting for an update on everything, but I don't even know where to start. Okay, so last time I came to you guys, I told you that we were going out to go look at some houses. Okay, so we went to go out and go look at houses. The very first time that we went to only go see one house. Mind you, where we're trying to move to is about 45 minutes away. So that's kind of a struggle on top of itself if you're going out and going to look at one house only to not really like the house and then you traveling back home. So we went out to go look at that house. The house was pretty nice overall. It was small front rooms, small rooms. But another thing that really caught my eye, which my fiance let me know, was that you can, like, going into the basement, you can see like this hole, like a mice hole. And so that was one thing, is like, I'm not trying to deal with no mice. I'm not trying to, I don't know how many in here. I'm not trying to hire nobody to come in, or I'm not trying to buy a whole bunch of, like, I know it's certain things that you can't control sometimes, but that's one thing I'm not trying to deal with, is mice. It had an unfinished garage. For the most part, it was a nice garage. It was a 2-car garage. It did not have a genie, which it automatically, lifts up from the remote. So you would have to literally, like, get out your car, lift it up, lift it back down. That was another thing. But after we actually saw that house, somebody actually, went on, had it pending. So that was fine. After that, we went to go see a couple of more houses. We went to go see a house that looked very nice on the website, like I think it was on Realtor. But someone had been occupying this house the whole time, basically, since they had put it up for sale. When I got there, I didn't even know, like, I knew it was the house, but it didn't look nothing like the picture from the outside. Like, the outside was already messed up. The picture, it was like everything was put together, solid. It was like cracks in, like, the steps on the picture did not show cracks on the steps. And she said it would be something, that would be something NACA would have to, kind of figure out or try to get fixed. It was like concrete steps, so it was like big old cracks and a chunk of, like, concrete missing and all that stuff. They had a couple of dogs in there. When you go in the kitchen was nice, how the picture looked, but again, my realtor asked the young lady, was it any, like, leaks, because you could tell that it was a leak in the kitchen, but I guess she didn't really care, or she didn't pay attention, I don't know. But you can see a water spot up there, like something was leaking from the roof maybe, or something. So then we went into the basement. The basement is it just looked like they was just doing, like, dog fights or something. I don't know, but it was just like a whole bunch of pit bulls. You had pit bulls in the backyard. We didn't even get to see the backyard. But it was just like, from the time that we pulled up, I knew it was a no. But it was like, just at least give it a chance, walk through and see. From that one, we went to 2 other places. So the first one we went to, now mind you, these places, what we were looking for was garages, basements. So it was kind of like we were in between compromising one for the other. That's how it kind of felt in a way. Because I would either find a house that had a garage but didn't have a basement, or a place that had a basement but didn't have a garage. So it was kind of like, I'm going to try to just kind of do the best that that I can in this search, in hopes that I can, find one. Even if we don't find one that have a basement, maybe it's pretty big, and we can, substitute for that. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. So the first place that we went to, they had converted the garage into a 4th bedroom, which I thought, good, it's the 4th bedroom, but it was a nice home. No lie, it was a nice home, but they should have had left the garage. And then they had, like, this outside door that connected where the garage was. It was just all weird. because it was just like, it was this little room from outside, and that was it. And then when you go into the inside, it was the bedroom. So we saw that place. It was really nice. But when we pulled up, let me tell y'all, when we pulled up, now this is one of the when you go into the neighborhood, does not look like, you know, too much goes on. It was nobody outside. It was like one guy outside, but he was like in his like robe, smoking a cigarette, minding his business. But when we pulled up, this guy was like yelling when we got out the car and trying to sell us some detergent. I'm like, really? So that was like, have both houses on each side pit bulls. So it's just like dogs just barking. So she finally was able to get the lockbox open. We were able to get into the house. Like I said, the house was nice, and everything. Backyard was a decent size or whatever. And then the neighbor comes out from the house next door to us. The guy who we said was, you know, sitting on the front porch, was sitting on his, you know, whatever. So he comes out and he's like, you know, talking to the realtor and all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, because it's a lot of break-ins. And I'm like, okay, there's strike two. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I guess that's why they have so many dogs in the area, or that's why he had a dog. And he's just like explaining all this stuff to my realtor. Yeah, we have a lot of break-ins and da. And then like the gate that he even had, like it was not even secure enough. Like we would literally have to build a gate around that to protect his dog from not like getting over into our stuff, or if the kids was in the backyard. Like, but I was like, you know, I told my fiance, I was like, it kind of feels like they don't want us to move over here, because it's like since the time we got out the car, it's been like, you know, BS that I don't want to deal with. And then, you know, people saying, you know, it's a lot of break-ins and all that stuff. Well, him saying there was a lot of break-ins in the area and stuff, you know, so that's why they got dogs and all that stuff. So then we came from seeing that house, we went to another house, same exact way. They took away the garage and put a 4th bedroom in, and it's just like, what is y'all thinking? You know what I'm saying? I understand that some people want a big house, and because they don't have a basement, they'll substitute something for another. And it's not like we didn't have a driveway, but we've been so comfortable with having a garage, you know, somewhere to put our stuff in, like the tools that he has, and, you know, just stuff like that, stuff that you don't want inside the house. And especially because you don't have a basement, it's like, okay, I'll substitute for a garage to put my stuff in. So we saw that house, and it was like a very nice house. Kitchen was updated. It had a laundry room. The area that they changed into a room from a garage was like this real long area. It just looked like it couldn't be a room. It just like a bedroom. It was just like, it could just be like a family room or something like that, like an extra family room, because we had a front room, but it just looked like that was like a movie room or something, like you can convert it into. And then the room in the back, which would have probably been our room, was like big as crap. Like it went from like one end of the house all the way wrapped around to the other end. Like it was so big. So I liked it, the house. We did see some like cracks in the foundation and the ceiling, and she was like, oh, you know, that's normal, you know, the house was built in whatever time it was built. So she was like, you know, that's normal for it or whatever. And, you know, she was like, you want to put in an offer? And me being me, you know, going through this before last year, you know, going to see houses and knowing that if I put in this offer, you know, that's getting the ball rolling. That's me submitting my earnest money of $1,000, and, you know, everything, just get the ball rolling from there. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, no, I want to just still look. My fiance, he's like, yeah, I like it, you know, we should just go ahead and do it. She's saying the same thing, and saying like, oh, it's just nothing but paperwork, and in my mind it's like, no, it's not just paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we're bonded to this house if I sign over the contract or whatever and I give them the money. But it's like, I want to keep looking. You know what I'm saying? We haven't found that house that had everything that we, want. And I really don't want to be compromising a freaking bedroom over, and what can even be a bedroom, to be honestly, for a garage, or to have more space, with having a basement. So, so we just decided, okay, we'll go ahead and put it in and see what they say. So she puts in the offer for the house, and put in the offer for the house. They accepted the offer. They were also willing to pay all closing costs. I think it was 6%. I think she said they can go up to and pay. It was like 6%. The taxes was really low on the house too. The taxes was probably like $2,000 or so a month. I mean, not a month, a year. So that was a good thing as well. The purchase price was like $57,500. So, and that was another thing, because a lot of the places had really high taxes. So it would offset, it wouldn't do anything for me because of the payment that I'm only allowed to do with NACA. So that was a hard thing too, in me finding a place that was affordable and a place that had really good property taxes attached to it as well. What I can say that my realtor did very well was that anytime that I sent her a property, she would run the numbers on it and put it into her website, so that I can go ahead and go look and see what the numbers is, how much percent we're buying down, if the realtor, if the seller was to do their own, if they were to help me, with the process of it, and the seller payment, she would let me know how much they would have to put down, how much I would put down. So that was a good thing. I liked that. I liked that of what she did. So like I was saying, we put in the offer. They accepted the offer. They were willing to pay closing costs. They were willing to pay. Oh, thank you. They were willing to pay closing costs, and they were willing to pay for anything that needed to be fixed under NACA, which was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, who wouldn't want that? That's what you want when you're going to look for a house. You want somebody who's willing to pay for closing costs and willing to pay for anything that needs to be fixed. Like, I was happy. You know what I'm saying? But it was, at the same time, it was so nerve-wracking, because it was like, I'm making this purchase. So, probably a couple days into it, because I was still concerned with the guy when he was talking about like the break-ins and all that stuff. So, as this process is going on, before like any, because I think I signed the papers and I sent them back over to her, and then in the process of that, on waiting for them to sign, I found out that there was a lot of break-ins in the area of where we were looking basically to buy a house. Basically, this area is kind of like, it's like the city of Chicago, but it's smaller than the city of Chicago. A lot of crime, just like the city of Chicago. But on top of that, when you have a smaller community, and then you have not even that many cops to even protect the community, I think when I looked it up, it was probably about 13 cops on duty for that township. And it was just like, I might as well move to Detroit if that's the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody has ever watched that the police thing that they had for Detroit, but it was like Detroit only had like 20 something cops. They only had like 20 some cops on duty because of, just people not wanting to work, and then they had all this crime that they had to watch over and all this stuff. So that's what I kind of felt like I was being put into, that situation. I had saw video. I was like looking up the town, and I was looking up just like break-ins. I was like on Facebook, I was on YouTube, and like it was one guy, he said that after he left, they had saw him, I guess, get ready to go on vacation. He was packing up and leaving, and then they actually broke into his house. And it's like, okay, so I can't really have money and move somewhere where it's cheap for me to, kind of get by and do the things that I need to do. Like, I can't even do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just got super concerned at that point, because I was like, I don't want to put me or my family in danger for a home because it's cheap, because it has, good property taxes and all that jazz. Even though I grew up in the city, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, when somebody, I feel like when somebody trying to take your stuff and you wake up in the middle of the night, or somebody, steals your car, I feel like it's a difference, because when you put in that situation where somebody is trying to take from you physically, and you probably right there, you're going to try to fight for it. And, odds is you might lose your life. You might not lose your life for trying to protect what's yours and for what you worked hard for. So it's kind of like, do I really want to be put in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Because living in the city, shoot, I've stayed in Inglewood, and I've thought every day that I was staying in Inglewood, like, I'm probably going to get shot one day. You know what I'm saying? And that was just the reality I had to deal with at that time. But I don't know. It's a difference when you can't just get up and move. When you have to actually physically stay somewhere. And, which I plan on staying in that place at least 5 years until it's paid off. But it's a difference where you can't physically get up and move, like how it is with an apartment. And I have a house, and I'm basically stuck to this house, for the next couple of years. And then I'm thinking, okay, once I'm done, how am I going to run out this house? How am I going to be with peace with myself if I know that the neighborhood is not safe, but I want somebody to rent for me? You know what I'm saying? It's people, yeah, who do it all the time in the city, who know that the neighborhood dangerous, but yet they're running out because that's not their issue. But I'm just not one of those people who kind of live with that on my heart, that if, I run out this place once I'm done paying it off, and, maybe it's a young couple, maybe it's a single mom that wants to rent out the house, and in my mind, I know that this neighborhood ain't safe for you, I don't know. So all of that was going into play this whole time, and I literally was at work searching. I was thinking about this for literally 8 hours straight. Like, nothing, like, it was just so heavy on my heart. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I couldn't think about nothing else but that. And I was just thinking about every scenario in the book. Like, I don't want to put my life, my kids' life, my fiance life into danger over material things. You know what I'm saying? And, I just had to come to a realization with myself. Like, I have been telling myself that I wanted to not go with this specific area and try to go with the other area that's a little bit more open and popular, but they don't have a lot of houses available for my price range in the area. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have to take my time and look again. So basically, after this whole ordeal of me going through this whole process of thinking and all that, they had already signed the papers. Like, as soon as I told her, like, can we hold off, they had already signed the papers. So at this time, it was another property that came up in the area. Another property that had came up in the area, and this property had everything, like literally everything that we wanted. Sorry. So like I said, this property had literally everything that we wanted. So it had the garage, it had the basement, it had the decent sized room, decent sized kitchen. And so we really, really wanted to go with this house. Like, I think it was a little bit cheaper. I think it was still $57, but the property taxes was a little bit less. But somebody was occupying the space. So she called, she Couldn't get in touch with the agent for that listing. I called just acting like a regular person, like, what's going on with this property? Like, is somebody staying here? Like, why we can't get into this property? So they basically saying, oh, we need to allow 48 hours. The person had like a definite family and all this. So this was the process of 2 weeks of us trying to get into this home. And I was just kind of like, forget it at that point. The house that we really wanted, we couldn't even get into. And so basically we just cut ties with that whole contract deal the offer that we had with the other house. Oh, and then I forgot to tell you guys that all the while I was doing my research for that house, it came up. I looked up the address for the house on Google, and then I ended up like strolling up or whatever, and just going like deeper into the searches, and I found an article where two people they found two bodies in the home. And after that, it was like, oh, hell no. I'm like, no. And then I'm speaking to my realtor one day, not trying to tell her about that piece, but just trying to let her know where we're coming from. Like, we don't just want to settle for anything. We kind of want to get what we want. And then I brought that into the equation. Like, I looked it up and I saw that it was two bodies found in the house too. And she was like, I told her the time frame, and she was like, oh, that was 7 years ago and all that stuff. But me being me, I'm a spiritual person, and I believe in energy. Two bodies was found because I kind of feel like the whole energy would kind of be thrown off with me knowing that. Like, say I didn't know that, that's fine. But when you know something and you can't take back knowing that, it kind of just throws off the whole thing. And I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to do this. Not at all. I don't want to do it. So basically, that deal kind of fell through. I told her to let them know, like, hey, we're not going to take the deal, because they was waiting on the earnest money. And once the earnest money would have went into play, it would have been, I feel like, so much harder to get out of things, or, so I was kind of glad it kind of went the way it did. And I believe that, things happen for a reason, and there's a reason why, I didn't go through with it, and, hopefully something better is on its way coming to me. So that's another thing. But yeah, so that's what we did. So at this point, I haven't spoken to my realtor after, like, we decided not to go with the house. She sent me a text message because I think she felt like that I wasn't going onto the website looking at the houses that she was sending me. And I let her know, like, I'm still looking at the houses or whatever. But at this point, I haven't been out to go look at a house in maybe like a month and a half or so. It started to get like really kind of overwhelming on top of it. And then I was supposed to have my NACA meeting where I gave my counselor, like, all my stuff for the months in between. And they canceled that because they had like this convention center coming to Chicago or whatever. And I guess they needed like all hands on deck. So we haven't rescheduled that. I don't know if I have to call her, she's gonna call me or whatever. I think I'm gonna just go on there and just upload all my stuff and have them figure it out, because last time, the very first time I did it, I guess I did it wrong or something, or it didn't go to the files it was supposed to go to when I uploaded. So that's why every time now I only upload my pay stubs, and then when I go into my meetings, I give her my credit card statements. So yeah. So at this point, it's at a standstill. Like I said, I started to get a lot, just really overwhelmed with the whole process. Kind of felt like I was being rushed into a property I didn't want to, I didn't want to get into. If somebody is willing to pay for that property, I'm pretty sure somebody else is willing to pay for the next property, for, the seller's, portion, and fix stuff if needed to be. I think at this time I'm gonna just focus on saving more, because I was originally going to use like my 401k and a little bit of savings that I had, the required funds that they wanted me to have. So I think at this point I'm gonna just continue to save. I'm probably going to combine that savings plus my 401k if need be, and I'm combining some of my taxes to go towards everything. Um, and I feel more comfortable at that point because I don't want to go out looking for something and in the back of my mind it's like, I don't think I have enough money, put aside or enough funds available to do the things that need to be done. That's how I kind of feel. Um, so yeah, it's just like a standing still for right now. I have so many other things going on. Like I have work and I work overnights and like this week I'm working like 6 days straight. So it's kind of hard to do to go look at houses when you want to be asleep, trying to get your rest for work. Or I got class, I got classes. So I'm trying to get through school and I'm trying to make sure I'm making good grades and I'm trying to make sure that I'm a good employee, that I'm on time for work and working effectively, and trying to make sure that you're a good mother, and trying to make sure that you're a good spouse. And it's just so many things. And then my two businesses have been like really on the back burner. So it's like that, it's a lot of stuff that's like affected kind of by like one thing with me getting this house. Because with me getting with this house, it was supposed to have been like a reliever for me. It was supposed to have been like a relief for money, because all the expenses were kind of supposed to go down basically in half, and it was supposed to be me taking on my next step with trying to get rid of my car, with going to trying to get either a personal loan, and selling the car back and all this stuff. So it's just so many things like that are going into play right now. So I'm still gonna keep you guys updated. Kind of once I start back the process. I think I might start back. I've been looking already. So I think I might start back the process um, maybe February. I think maybe February. I'm gonna still continue to upload everything so that when I do have a meeting, it won't be so much stuff I have to give them, or a lot of stuff we'll have to go over. Um, but yeah, it's just, and then it's the holiday season. Like, it's so much stuff. It's so much stuff. You gotta get Christmas gifts. You gotta buy decor and all this stuff. It's just so much stuff going on. And I kind of feel like after January is when everything will kind of die down for me. I will be starting classes again in January, but my class will be online, so it won't have to be me so much going into class and all that jazz. It would just me. It would be just me. Just being able to prioritize my work that needs to be done at that particular time. But yeah, so I just wanted to keep you guys updated. And then I also did want to know if you guys wanted me to do maybe like a preparedness folder. Maybe like make a video where I tell you kind of what is needed for NACA, how to make your folder or your little file or something like that. I also have been contemplating whether I want to do like a debt payoff type thing, because during that time when I get my taxes, I'm actually going to be paying off. I have 7 credit cards, so during that time I'm going to be paying off at least 4 of them, and maybe bringing down 3 of them, half of what they are. So if you guys want me to kind of document that for you, or something like that, just let me know, like in my comments or whatnot, so I can know if I want to like make a video on that. Just kind of show you guys maybe like what is my debt, and how much I have in debt and how much I'm paying off at the moment. I think my debt is pretty average for the amount it is, with having like student loans and a car and a little bit of credit card debt. So just let me know. I can always upload that for you guys. But for right now, you guys stay focused. If you're going through the process, stay focused, stay intentional. Make sure you have all your documents together. If you're still trying to go through the process of getting approved, just to stay on top of everything. You know, you can look at my previous videos. I kind of tell you what you need. I go into further more detail of things that you know, you might think that you have, but maybe you got to get something else on top of it, just like the 401ks, like summary plan, you know, kind of where to get that from. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment, and let me know, and I can respond back to you guys. But for right now, I'm kind of taking it slow. Um, I'm kind of sad that I don't have better news for you guys, because the process was so quick for me in the beginning, and it's like I'm just slowing down right now. But you know, hopefully, maybe by the spring, or maybe before the spring, I should have a house, and that would kind of work out for us because the kids will be getting out of school, and that way it won't be in the middle of their school year, because at first it was supposed to be, you know, once they started school we were supposed to move. So now it's coming towards, you know, the end of school or whatnot. So maybe it'll, you know, work out for the best that way. And plus, we're gonna be moving in the cold too. So, so just let me know if you guys have any questions, or if you want me to do those videos. And I guess I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.